Hi, the SI meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Wednesday, November 28th. Well, yesterday's low pressure system that caused a general 1 to 3 inch snowfall here in the Philadelphia suburbs and northern and western suburbs has pulled off the coast. It's moving out to sea, and high pressure is building back in. It'll remain cold here in the mid-Atlantic region right through the end of the week, which is the end of the month of November. November will no doubt go down as a below normal month, and colder than normal temperatures will continue right into the early part of the weekend. However, the early part of next week looks quite mild. Mild air will move from the Rockies into the plains this weekend and then into the east by the end of the weekend and the early part of next week. And Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday look quite a bit above normal here in the mid-Atlantic region before another cold front swings through by the middle of next week. The big story, however, over the next several days will be the unbelievable rainfall amounts that can be expected across northern California and all the way up into the Pacific Northwest. Some places in northern California should receive more than a foot of rain over the next 5 days, and that rain will spill all the way down the west coast into the Los Angeles region later on today, continuing into tomorrow. Very cool and unsettled weather for Southern California over the next several days, but perhaps historic in Northern California in terms of the amount of rainfall expected over the next 5 days. Let's take a look at the latest surface map. High pressure is now building back into the east following yesterday's low pressure system that is off the coast and moving away. There's kind of a reinforcing cool front here that will keep us cool right through the end of the week, below normal temperatures for this time of the year. Still, we should expect temperatures in the low to mid 50s in most mid-Atlantic locations for highs, and we'll be certainly confined to the 40s today and right through much of the end of the week. Meanwhile, warmer air is already moving in, building into the central Rockies. Denver can expect above normal temperatures today and for the rest of the week. That warmer air will then move into the plains over the weekend, will be quite warm, much warmer than normal. And finally, that warmer, milder air will move into the east for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, where we will be well above normal. But again, the big story, Pacific storm after Pacific storm will roll into the west coast, and places in northern California could actually get over a foot of rain over the next several days. Well, here's a nationwide infrared satellite loop from the SSEC Wisconsin website. Lots of clear skies across much of the nation now. Partly cloudy skies here in the northeast. That storm from yesterday has pulled out into the open Atlantic. But here out west is the first of a series of Pacific storms ready to slam into the west coast. And again, northern California could have outright historic rainfall amounts over the next 5 days on the order of 12 inches to up to 15 inches or so in and around the San Francisco region and throughout the northern California. Heavy rain will fall over the next several days right up to the Pacific Northwest, and rainfall will spill all the way down the coast into the Los Angeles region later on this afternoon into tonight, and they'll have a threat for rain for the next several days as well. But the real insane amounts of rainfall will be right here in northern California, and this is just the first in a series of storms. In fact, let's take a look out over the Pacific Ocean right now. And here is the Pacific Ocean satellite loop, an infrared satellite loop. Here's that first storm getting ready, the circulation associated with that first storm getting ready to slam into northern California. Yet another storm right out on its heels out here in the middle part of the Pacific, headed towards the west coast. And again, over the next 5 days, the big newsmaker in the world of weather anyway will be the unbelievable rainfall amounts expected across northern California on the order of a foot or more. And here's the west coast radar loop, and again, rainfall is already moving into the northern California region. This is just the beginning. This could turn out to be a historic event in terms of rainfall amounts over the next several days, with serious flooding expected here across northern California, with again a foot or more of rain over the next 5 days. Final map I'd like to show is the NOAA predicted rainfall amounts for the next 5 days, and focusing again on the northern California region. Some of these are just incredible amounts here. Over a foot here, 14.5 inches, over 13 inches predicted by some NOAA weather forecasters. It looks reasonable based on the atmospheric conditions, just a series of Pacific storms. The floodgates are indeed opened out in the Pacific Northwest all the way down the west coast throughout California, and there'll be up to half a foot of rain over the next several days in the Pacific Northwest. Part of the mechanism in the atmosphere that's bringing this rain ashore is also bringing milder air across much of the nation from the west to the east, and that's why we first will experience a warm up today over the Rockies, and then the northern and central plains over the weekend, and then finally into the east come Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. But that'll be rather short-lived as another cold front swings through the eastern states by the middle of next week. Well, that's it for now. For the SIWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.